Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. I wanted to briefly follow up on the story about the new elections in Kyrgyzstan, the mostly democratic Central Asian Republic. As you know from my last video, demonstrators, or let's say mostly peaceful protesters, have stormed the parliament, the White House, and other government buildings. They rescued the former head of state from a state prison, forced the prime minister to step down, and to schedule new elections for December 20th, just a little before Christmas. Not that that would matter in Kyrgyzstan though. There had been a long period of mismanagement, corruption, and, caused by that of course, a very frustrated and angry population. But the mostly peaceful protests there were sparked in the end by clear voter fraud. And these, according to my informations at least, were not just empty allegations by the other side, as is so often the case. I think this time it was really clear that there was evidence and many cases of voter fraud in Kyrgyzstan. And that is why the election is also repeated. So here you have a nice example how vigilant people who watched the electoral process and when they found foul play, made a fuss over it, actually got what they wanted, and that is the fraudulently elected prime minister step down and they get new elections. And this is, I think, the way it should be. Maybe this could serve as a model for Western countries. I mean, I don't say that Kyrgyzstan is a role model for our state, but we can maybe adopt some aspects here and there. For example, that we would stop looking the other way when we see that there is clear voter fraud in our countries. In Germany, that is probably not happening to a large degree, but regionally it can be very significant, especially in local regional elections. And also we see very disturbing things now in the United States. There is clear evidence of attempted voter fraud at least. There were elections or parts of elections that had to be redone because there was obvious foul play in the election process. And when you consider what is at stake in the United States this year and next year or during this election, what's on the ballot, I think it makes a lot of sense, and it would be a good thing if American citizens were very vigilant and they should observe the whole electoral process very strictly and tightly. All this foul play must be recorded as evidence for later, obviously, because then you actually would have a point for re-elections, just like in Kyrgyzstan now. Kyrgyzstan is a small Central Asian country with only about 6 million inhabitants, but if they can do that, then Western countries should be doing that when they see fraud on a much larger scale. So who says that we can't learn something from other cultures? And after all, the article says that Kyrgyzstan is comparatively democratic for the geographical region that is Central Asia. So compared to the other stans, they are comparatively, or should I say mostly, democratic. But as mostly peaceful is good enough for the mass media and for the ruling class and the globalists in the West, maybe mostly democratic is also good enough. Take care, Servus, Kameraden.